Good day. I hope your day is starting as wonderful as you are. I just want to share a few notes. This is for the youngsters. This is for the 21 and below crowd. Because as you grow older, you'll see that if you don't start learning when you're young, you're never going to know anything. So this is for, if you guys can share this with the youth 21 and below, it'll be real helpful. And if you punch that like, that'll be helpful too. But share this with the people who are about 21 and below. I'm invited to a lot of these lives lately. And to be honest, if you love Black people or people who refer to themselves as Black, keep them close. Speak nothing but truth around them because they're sinking fast. And I know many of you, if you tune into African Americans ain't Africans, you know what I mean. And anything you say positive to a Black person, they're going to look at it as Black. Keep that in mind. And what's happening to Black people, they're doing it to themselves. Everything, nobody's doing nothing to them. They're doing it to themselves. And they're speaking it. And I'm going to show you, how is that possible? What do you mean by that? Why do you say that? You just mad. So you notice when you talk to people who refer to themselves as Black, they don't talk, they bark. And they bark because they don't want you to get to the point, because they already know off the bat that they lying and they have nothing to stand on, but they're standing on it anyway. I mean, won't even change. Didn't the seasons just change? Doesn't everything change? But Black never changes. So I'm going to give you an example of how this is done. This is not the definition. This is not the definition of Black. This is the etymology of the word Black. So etymology and definitions are different. The etymology of the word lets you know when the word was first used. Where did this idea come up as Black? Who were the people that came up with the term? When did they come up with the term? This is what etymology means. That's all it means. Who came up with the word? What did they look at the word to mean? And if you look at the etymology of the word, you'll see that all of the definitions of the word or the term Black comes from Europeans. So when you ask a Black person, what does Black mean? They don't know because they didn't come up with the term. It was a term that somebody put on them, called them, and they've been calling themselves ever since. And if you ask a Black person, well, when these people from these other places came over here, what did you introduce yourself as? Then the barking starts. And you'll never get to the end of it because they know they're full of shit and they're going to lie and try to get out of, they won't even answer the question of what you're saying. So this is why I'm giving it to the people who are 21 and below. At least you'll listen. The people who are older than you in their 30s and 40, they No, no. So remember, the term black is an adjective, and we're going to get to that. And you're going to see how all this crumbles. Black, Old English black, absolutely dark. Now, we can look up the etymology of the word dark or the definition of the word dark, and you'll really be upset. But Black people don't do that. They just keep talking about the word. They don't tell you what it means. They don't tell you where it comes from. They're just fixated on the word black. So here we go. Old English black, absolutely dark, absorbing all light of the color or suit, of the color of soot or coal. Now remember, Black people never tell you nothing about the word black. They just tell you that they are black. Reconstructed to be from the Proto-Germanic blackis, burned. Is that why they were doing those lynchings and burnings and all that stuff? Because these people, Germans, English, Dutch, Swedish, these people were coming over here doing something to the people here of a concept that they developed over here. And by the way, and I ask all Black people this and haven't got an answer yet. I ask all Black people, what did these people refer to you as when they got here? I don't know. No, no. You just, what did you refer to yourself as? Hmm? Never know. This is what you'll notice about Black people or people who refer to themselves as Black. The source of the term blackest is from the Old Norse blacker, dark. Now, you'll see the spellings, how the spellings are different. And if you go back and read to the 1700s of the books and the Bibles and stuff that came in, you'll see that the spellings are totally different from what they are now. That's because of the way you were speaking. They got into your speaking to speak to you. You don't spell the words now how they spell back then. You don't spell it Blakkr. You'll spell it Blakker because what they were saying, this was they were coming into you, talking, communicating with you. They had to get a point across over to you. For some reason, Black people don't understand this. I don't know why. I mean, it's simple to understand. That's why I see. Pass this to the youth. Pass this to the youth. Old High German blah. Now, when you go to Old High German are the aristocrats of Germany. So their word for black was blah. But when you ask a Black person what was their term from black, they get that deer in the headlights look on their face. I don't know, but will talk till your ears fall off. Swedish black ink, Dutch blacken, to burn. From the Proto-Indo-European bleg, bleg, to burn, gleam, shine, flash. From the Latin flagere, to blaze, glow, and burn. From root bell, behell, to shine, flash, and burn. The usual Old English word for black was swart. And I know many of you have heard that term, like with Arnold Schwarzenegger and so on. So remember that what you call Black African American, remember, many of them back in the day, they were hit with that crack. Somebody was trying to wipe them out with crack. Same thing they tried to do to you with heroin back in your grandmother's grandfather age, when your grandmother and grandfather was coming along. Just moved a little bit forward. I mean, there was some other drugs in there too, but crack was the big bomb that uh, was used to wipe out black people, and a lot of so-called black people participated in it. Today, those black people try to act like they didn't. They did. Came up. Oh, that's why you're in the position you're now. Ask them, they'll tell you. And when you ask them, tell them, don't bullshit you. Tell the truth. Because remember, the language of black people is lie. I'm not saying this to be an ass. I'm telling you what's happening. Black people are basically sock puppets that other people created. They didn't create themselves like that. They took the orders from somebody else. Other people came up with the term black. You couldn't refer to yourself as your people refer to themselves because, and ask your grandmamas and granddaddies this, in the 1950s, if you call somebody black, you get the shit slapped out of you. Why? Because they knew it was a derogatory term used to wipe them out. How come the modern day so-called African Americans don't know that? And as we go further, you'll find out that what you call Black and African Americans, they don't really know anything because they're Black, just by what the term means. I mean, if you just look what the term means, they give you the definition and everything. What you call Black and African Americans, they don't forget that. It's what I say it means. So if you ever saw that movie, Malcolm X, with Denzel Washington, and this is what I ask people, so we can be on the same page, so we can understand where this conversation is going, so we can talk about the same thing. I ask people because this movie is fairly new. Everybody loves Denzel Washington. Everybody loves Spike Lee. Have you ever seen that movie, Malcolm X? There's a scene in the movie when Malcolm X is in jail. The guy in jail is trying to tell him that the term black, everything negative, is locked into the word black. Those of you who know what I'm saying, follow me perfect. The guy was telling them the way the language is constructed, the word black has everything negative to it. Everything. Now, this movie was 30 years ago. That ain't long. 30 years ago. You would have thought that information would be passed down like candy. It wasn't. It's covered up. It's hidden. So the youth won't get the information. The word black means destitute of light. You ever see that Columbia Statue of Liberty of the man holding the light over the head so you can see? The definition of black, that's what that means. You have no light. You know, when you watch sports football and you see that black stuff under the eyes, so the light won't reach the eyes, that's what black people refer to themselves to. Can't receive light. They don't know it. They don't even have a definition of the word black, but that's what the word is ordering them to do. That's why it's important to know these terms, know what they mean, know where they came from, know why they're used. Know why you use words that you didn't come up with, why you use them against yourself, and then act like that's not what you're trying to do. Lying again. So the word black, seriously, you've never seen a black person before, ever. You never will, but you refer to yourself as that. And then they'll try to get slick and say, oh, black means the culture. What in your culture is black that everybody wants to profit off of? What in your culture is destitute, is gloomy, that everybody wants to profit on? Because these are the words you're saying. These are the words you say. Nobody else is saying them. This is what you say, isn't it? Isn't it? Come on, say it. This is what you say. And if you looking at this thing right, you seeing what's happening to so-called black people. And it's happening fast. Now, many of them are going to act like they don't understand, huh? What you mean? That's going to happen. And so that's why I say, if these are the people you love, or these are the people you look, stay close to them and give them truth. Give them truth. Ask them to explain what they're talking about. You'll see 10 times out of 10, they won't know what they're talking about. So if you look at that movie, Malcolm X, just check out the part, just check out the part where the guy is telling Malcolm X to check out the term black, to understand what the term black means. And I mean, we should know this by now. So this is the last thing I want to share, because I don't want to make this long, because you got to get this. Black is an adjective. A color is an adjective. What the color does is describes well, I'll just let you read the definition. A word belonging to one of the major form classes. And let me just say this right here. This is a problem that we have. You don't read. Many people just read a word belonging to one of the major form classes and won't read nothing else. Black people do that. A word belonging to one of the major form classes in any of the numerous languages, and typically serving as a modifier. A modifier. We're going to change the noun. We're going to modify the noun. That's you. The noun is you. We're going to modify that. But this is the cold part, and this is what black people don't get. Modify the noun to denote a quality of the thing named. The thing named. The thing named. They don't even look at you as a person, or anybody should even be spoken to. A thing. So since they look at you as a thing, for black, I'm going to be with you in a second. So since you don't look at you, since they don't look at you as a thing, remember, you don't even define yourself. Other people define you. Since they look at yourself as a thing, what do you look at yourself for, black righteous folks? What does that mean? Could you explain that term to us?
Hey, thank you for having me on. I've been trying to get around using the word black for a while. I know that when I first started YouTube back in 2018, I did not know anything about what you're discussing and everything. And now I understand a lot more about Pan-Africanism, about everybody trying to, group us all into this block of black and trying to usurper our identity to being African now. So I've totally have transitioned over to understanding a new understanding that I didn't have before. So 2025, I'm totally different from what I have come to understand. But yeah, black is very destructive to everything that people are trying to push off on us. And I think Pan-Africanism is why people are trying to group us and keep us there. And we have like Ghana and this, I don't know if you know of this lady by the name of Dr. Ericana, but she is a old ambassador to the African Union. Um, she has come with this big con game that she's using black and African interchangeably together, saying that we're her long lost people of old. Ghana's invited us to come back to Africa, Ghana, and all that, and they're trying to utilize our money now towards the debt of Africa. And a lot of people are not aware that she is walking, I mean, going all over the place with speeches and stunts to try to get people to sign on to her ADDI database to include their information and social security number and identities and everything to get donations and monies and building a case against us, in other words, to try to reclaim us, to gain ownership of us towards this debt to Africa. So that's where I'm at right now. But trying to get around calling myself black, how do you get around it other than just saying you're American or indigenous American, which I call myself now, indigenous American. But I don't understand
So
how
so
I.
so this is so simple, and this is what I mean. Uh, for black people, they don't think ever about nothing. So all these people that are coming over here, you got Germans, Scottish, Kenyans, Nigerians, Ghanese, all these people coming over here. How come black people never call themselves what their ancestors called themselves? What did these people call you when they came over here? Or what did you introduce yourself as? You ask a black person that, I bet you $200, I don't know. And this is the embarrassing part about it. Please share this with the young people 21 and below. Please share this. I mean, didn't you view yourself as something? Didn't you do things that you thought your people were valuable? Didn't you do things that when people came over here, they called you damn near gods, rich soul people? What did you
So
call
what should we
yourself?
call ourselves?
What you are. Yeah, man, look, you give birth to me. I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you live. I don't know who your people were, but you do, or you should. But we don't know that because Casper the Friendly Ghost is coming on. We always want to watch the game. We don't know. Then we're arrogant as hell about it. Just do a genealogy. Find out your mama's 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 mama's, your daddy's mama's mama's mama. It's right in your
Well,
face.
I have a bad past. I wasn't raised by my family. I was in children's home and stuff like that. So that's why I have a big void in that
Okay,
regard.
you know who your family is, right? You know who your if you don't know who your mom is, you know who her mommy is because
No, I don't
her,
know. I don't know my mom's side because she was adopted too. On top of that, so that's why I have a big misunderstanding about how to get my genealogy totally. But I
okay,
understand.
I just want the audience to understand. This proves my point. And not saying nothing about you, ma'am, but this proves my point. How you've been attacked. So
Hmm.
this young woman right here don't even know. That's the whole point. So you won't know nothing about yourself. So, ma'am, what I would say, if you don't know your mama, if you don't know your daddy, you got cousins, you
I
know?
know my dad's side. I got information on his side, but I just don't have information on her side.
Okay. Well, your mama's the flower. Your Daddy's the B. Where was he? How did him and your mom? All you need to find out is where your mama's from. Once you find, if you got information on your daddy's side, he gonna know your mama.
Well,
Who
he's
is she?
passed. He's been gone a long time now.
So, audience, I just want you to see how this is going. Now, this is supposed to go with every single last one of us. And this goes on with every single last one of us as long as we call ourselves black. Uh
Mhm.
there do you know your birthday or anything?
Well, I know that. I mean, I do know my great grandfather on my father's side, and he did mention to me when I was 17 one time that I do have Cherokee on his side. So I got that information from him before he passed.
Is
And
there
I
is
and
there
I
I'm sorry,
hmm?
go ahead.
And I have just decided to just call myself Indigenous American for now until I figure out more. But that's where I'm at right now.
I think you're not far away from what you want to do. I mean, just find out where you're born at. Where you know where you were born at, what city?
Yeah, I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. So there's nothing on your birth in the Hall of Records or nothing. You know your birthday or anything?
Well, it says on my birth certificate I'm black. That was the dilemma why I used black in my
Okay.
my name.
It doesn't have any it doesn't say anything about your mom.
Well, it showed her maiden name and stuff like that,
Okay.
but she changed her
Fine.
name. She changed her name twice.
Uh,
Yeah, she changed her name and made it very difficult because she was adopted. And I don't know if her name on my birth certificate is her real name when she was born, or was she adopted into that name because she just told me really brief that she was adopted, but she didn't really have a long discussion with me because she's just a different type of person. She's very self-absorbed and didn't care to share too much of information on herself. That's why I have all these question marks about her.
Check this
And we
out.
don't talk anymore, so that's why.
Ma'am, when were you born?
In
What year?
71.
So that probably makes your mother born in around 1951, 50s, around the 50s, 45,
Mhm.
Okay. So you're in Detroit. Now, I don't know a
No,
lot of
I don't live
people.
in Detroit anymore. I was born in Detroit. I'm in
No,
California now.
no, we're trying to find your mom. We're trying to get some information on her to find out who you are. So if she's from Detroit, remember this is Indian territory. If you look at a flag of Wayne County, you're on it.
Mhm.
If so what I was gonna say, first of all, find out what was happening in the Detroit area in around the 1950s. Scan the area where she lived. What did she get into? Then you'll find out kind of what happened. So it's like, so you know what happened in Birmingham in the 60s? It made a lot of the people in Birmingham go to other places.
Mhm.
See if you look at the environment, what happened then, it'll give you an idea of what was going on. Why she left, why she gave you a fort, why she felt some way about herself, what was going on with her parents, what was she taught, what was the school system like. Knowing the environment that she was born in will tell you a lot. It'll tell you a lot about yourself too. But as far as finding her, there's something there's something that connects you on this planet to her. It's there. Your father, you don't have nobody in the family to tell you nothing. The
No,
name
I
on the
have
birth.
a great cousin that I talked to and told me about my father a little bit, but and we all both believe that we're not, of course, black or African or anything like that, and the family has Cherokee mostly, but but I don't have any other information thus far. They're supposed to be working on the genealogy to fill me in on it, but they haven't gotten back to me about it because they have all the information. I don't.
Okay,
So I
okay, see if
just
this works. See if this
mhm,
works. See if this works for you. Okay, so you're in Detroit. Okay, so I'm not in Michigan. I don't have a map of
No, I'm in
Michigan.
California.
Okay, okay. So let's just pull up a map of Michigan. Let's pull up a map of Michigan, and I'm gonna show you something. And this will help you. This is gonna help you. Michigan County, uh, a detailed map of Michigan counties. Check this out. See if this don't help you. And I'm sure it will when trying to find out who you are. You know, because this is what I tell everybody to do when they're first starting out. And when they do this, they don't need me no more because they get it. Check this out. So now they're even trying to cover that up, even trying to hide that. Do this. Do this. Let me share this with you because they're trying to take this stuff out now, so you won't find it. And they just started, but this is why it's important to find out who you is. Very important. Very important. Okay, now this is the map of Livingston. I don't know if it's Michigan or not. I just pulled up a map, but I want to show you something. You see the name of these counties?
Mhm.
A lot of them are the indigenous people's counties, where a lot of times brothers and sisters was just we wasn't moving. They had to bring the army in to clear them out. So you'll see names in Michigan, in almost every state, that have the indigenous names, just like that. What's that? Choctaw? Choctaw. Is that
Mhm.
Choctaw? Kahakta. Kahakta. That's what it looks like. You'll see names like that. Normally, when women have babies, they normally don't move. So you got to figure out the time your mother was born, they were still having 7, 8, 9 babies then. The mama probably didn't move. Where did she live? So where it says Kahakta right here, in the little green square where it says Kahakta, there's going to be other names of other, they're not English names, they're not Spanish names, they're not French names, they're names that the people who live there call themselves. That's all you do, man.
Okay, I got you.
You
So
you,
you're
you
saying like
understand?
go to an older map and they have like
Go,
uh,
go to an
uh
older map, uh 1700s, 1800s, and you'll see in the county it'll be other little, so like, okay, what county do you live in California?
well, I don't want to say all that because people be doxing on here, but I just let it rather just keep it California. That people be doing too much on YouTube.
Okay,
But
okay, so let's say you live in Los Angeles County. In
mhm.
Los Angeles County, you have cities called Pasadena, Watts, Gardena, all kind of places. You'll see those names on those old maps, but there'll be names of the people who were there when these people came in. Black people don't tell you that. They just call themselves black and keep everybody, including themselves, confused. Those people didn't call themselves black. Why call yourself something that you didn't call yourself? And this is what's hard to get across to so-called black people, because their job is to destroy. They've been trained to destroy everything. And we can get into that, but you won't want to get into it because black people, they'll start lying and say, we didn't do that. Yeah, you did. So that's a way that you can do it, ma'am. I don't know where your grandmother's from, your mom's mom, because remember,
I heard
when
on
you
my father's side, I think we came from Arkansas.
okay, so okay, they're the so who were the Indians in Arkansas? Who were they? Were they the Washita? Not the Washita Moors, because see, they came over and tried to steal your name. because and the way they spell it. Washita is spelled OU. It's not that.
Hmm.
See the spelling, all this new language you got, that's not you. You just took it because you wanted to integrate into schools with them and they taught you what they wanted you to know. That's why you're in the position that you're in today. Amen. That's what happened. Say what happened so we won't keep stepping in that same bullshit.
So, what do you call yourself right now?
Lettahatchee,
What was that? You said,
Lettahatchee.
okay,
So
in the
I
heck.
so I did what I just did, what I just suggested that you do. And what I suggest to hundreds of people, find out who and this is no knock on the fathers, because I'm a father. The reason we say mothers is because mothers are the one who give birth to the babies. You, me. What the black man does is stomp the shit out of his mama, his woman, his daughters. He dogs them.
Mm.
Ah, and no, that's not the problem. The problem is you got black women who with them that do that. That's the problem of calling yourself black. The people that give birth to everybody, you don't degrade her like this. What? What? And this is what black people do. I'm just saying what they do. I'm just reporting what I see them do. They'll lie and say they don't do it and be doing it when they say they don't. That's the black man. You got to be real with this. You got to go back. You got to study stuff. You got to go read stuff. You got to go look in the history of those people who were the black people. It was the devil. Well, how come we don't know this? We because we're not trying to learn. We don't care. We arrogant. You don't tell me what to do, nigga. You ain't my daddy. That's how black people act, right or wrong.
Yeah, for the most part, they do. Because there's just the history of being labeled that for so long is so hard to shake from. But
If
I do
man,
want to start calling myself so-called black from now on and
if
just
you met
continue to say indigenous American right now,
eh,
until I figure out my other identity.
if you met a man at the ice cream stand and he called you bitch, what would you do?
I wouldn't accept that. I wouldn't do
Right.
nothing because he's a man. I don't want to be fighting no guy. But I probably would just leave the situation. I wouldn't want to be in the presence of somebody calling me a bitch.
Simple, simple, simple. We don't do black people don't do that. They take what other people call them and they refer themselves to what the other people call them. Right?
A lot of times we do.
Tell me a time that they don't.
Um, well, what do you mean?
Tell me a time that they don't refer to themselves with other people. Because I'm asking you, what did your people call themselves? You don't know. Black people don't know. They only know black. So, what do black people refer to? How do black people refer to themselves?
I think we should just refer ourselves as American until we get all our genealogy, like you say, to really have the information in front
Oh,
of us.
okay,
But
okay. Let's take that term. You gonna love this. Americans. Okay, who came up with that term?
I don't really know who came up with the term.
Okay, so let's just get some history straight so we'll know what's going on. So you do know before the British came over here and came up with the term American, the Spanish and the French were sent before them. You're familiar with that part of history.
No, I'm not. I don't really know a lot about history at all, to be honest.
Okay. So the Spanish, so you see Florida, Spanish speaking, all down in those islands, San Juan, Puerto Rico, uh, Costa Rica. Those are Spanish speaking places
Mhm.
because when all these people came, they were to divide up America. That's why you see all the lines through Mexico, Central America, the Caribbean, South America. It's all divided up because all of these people came over and wanted to cut up the land. Your people were on the land at the time all this cutting up went on, went through wars, all kind of stuff. You want to find out who your people were at certain points of time. This is something you're going to have to. This is something you're going to have to sit down and study about, figure out.
Mhm.
It's right, and it's not hard. That's why I say do the genealogy. Go back through your mama, her mama, your daddy, his mama, and you'll start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It's not hard. And if you don't know your mama, you got somebody around you. You being here isn't just it just happened. You're here for a reason. We all are. You're here for a purpose. And your job is to find that. Most people don't care about it. They don't want to do it because they know what they got to do, and they'll be black. They'll be black just so they don't have to do what they have to do. Matter of fact, I'm convinced most of them do it like that. You know damn well when you look at yourself, you don't see nothing black. You the color of a penny. You copper color. Is that listen? A 5-year-old can figure that out. That's why I say give this to the younger, because once you start getting 30, 35 and don't know nothing, it's kind of hard. It's because you've already been trained to be what you're going to be. You don't know nothing else. So, and again, I'll give you an example of that. You're familiar with the cats Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, right?
Mhm.
So you'll know that they both died when they were 40. This is interesting because when you and people who got in 40 and a lot of people tell you this, once you get 40 you're really tired of playing around, lying, bullshitting, cheating. You want to do the right thing. You want to be a better person. You want to show your children that you are something that they can look up to, that their children can look up to, that your grandkids can look up to. So normally 40, late 30s, early 40s is when that happens. And they just couldn't play the game no more, so they had to go. And Martin Luther King told you before he died, he was like, "This is over. This is it." Malcolm X, they know once you start telling the truth, once you stop playing and lying, which black folks do. That's black folks' whole mo. All they do is lie because they know nothing, which is still a lie. If you don't know, all you have to do is say you don't know. Immediately, you'll find out. We won't even do that. We won't even ask questions. We won't even ask what you think. I was thinking about this. We don't even do that. Start barking. And if you notice, the black man, a huge population of them, they bark. So these terms that we use against ourselves, that we think are cool, that we didn't make up for ourselves, we didn't make up these terms. These are other people terms. And like the sock puppet, many of us are, we just do what they say. So Wayne County, that's where Detroit is. And not only search census records, federal census records, also search census records for the county.
Okay, I got you. You can do
You
all
know,
this
there's
online though, because I can't physically go there, obviously. But
you
can you do
listen.
all of this online?
I'm gonna tell you something, and you're gonna think it's crazy, but don't, okay? Because this is another thing that black people totally put them. I'm not saying you call yourself black because I know you said you didn't. Check this out. Remember when the Spanish and French came over here? They called the people uh, rich soul. That's what America means. That's what America means. Soul rich, soul rich, soul rich. Anywhere you go in the world and you ask them who are the rich soul people, who are they going to say?
I don't know. I never heard this before. You just first
You
time
never
ever.
you never heard somebody call say soul man or
Oh
soul
yeah,
brother
I've
number
heard
one
that
or
before.
the
Yeah,
creator?
I heard
Who are they talking about?
you were talking about us, I guess.
You guess?
Well, I
They were
mean, the
they
music
were they
and
were
stuff like
talking
that is
about you.
referencing.
That's what I'm saying. They were talking about you,
Yeah.
and we don't know. We don't know. I mean, this is simple stuff. We don't pass
Mhm.
this. We don't share this to the kids. We don't. We just arrogant and bark all day long. So this is what I would say to you. And if you need some more help, I can help you. I have people who do this stuff professionally, and they can help you. You can find out who you are. It ain't hard. Somebody just didn't drop you off in a basket and send you floating down the Nile. That ain't it. You here. You can find this information. But Wayne County, just find out the people who were born in Wayne County on the day on your birthday. You do know your birthday?
Of course.
Find out what happened on that day. It just is not about you as a person because a person is immaterial. You have a soul inside of you that connects to your mama, your grandmama, your great grandmama, your great 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 great, all of them. You're connected. That's why they were calling you that. Soul people. You're connected. You have
Mhm.
thoughts. You have memories. You have sometimes things that just pop in your mind. You ever wonder what that is? That's you.
Okay. I
You were
appreciate
born
you
in that.
allowing me to come up. I'm gonna listen and drop off and just listen and because I have to go. But I just wanted to tell you I appreciate your channel and I appreciate that you do research and trying to get it ingrained in our head that black is a very negative thing that we're taking on ourselves, and that's how Africans are able to utilize and attach themselves to us, and that's going to be a bigger war behind Africans trying to you know deal with our leaders and try to maybe mess with our identity again. I see that coming down the pipeline, so I understand that it's important to get away from that term black ASAP. So
Well,
thank you
ma'am,
for everything that you said.
I thank you for understanding that, for getting it, because most people they don't get it. They'll cuss me out, say I hate myself, I hate my African self. And this is was that it's not hard to understand, is it?
Mm-mm. No,
Yeah.
it's a
Okay.
term being used against us
Yeah.
collectively as we speak. So that's what I understand what's going on right now.
Well, ma'am, thank you for joining us today. Thank you because you just made my day a little bit brighter. Appreciate you.
All right, I'll be back another time. Bye.
Okay, love. All right, thank you. So, so this is why I say not everybody, because some people get it. This is not hard. It's right in your face. Black, remember, every when you say black, that's why I mentioned the football player with the eye black under his eyes. What is the eye black for? To block out the light. To block out the light. Light meaning knowledge. Light being so you can see better. Light being wisdom. That's why you call yourself. You didn't come up with the term. You don't come up with anything. You black people wait for other people to tell them what to do. If I'm wrong, somebody come up and prove that I'm wrong. Black people don't uh their grandfathers and great grandfathers used to be the baddest farmers in the world. Still are the few of them that are left. They didn't call themselves black. You look on the money in the 1860s, they didn't call themselves black. They called themselves who they were. That's why. And before you were black, what were you? Negro, the Spanish version? They couldn't think of a name for you, so they had to borrow from their brothers from Spain. You still haven't came up with a term. Before Negro, what did they call you? What, colored? And you're still not getting it. So colored, Negro, black. After black, what? African American? Guess who don't get the change that is happening to them? Guess who don't understand it? Will cuss you out if you explain it to them. Black people. Anything black people have done, name it. If you name it and say the positive that came out of it, I'll give you $1. Uh, One of your most embarrassing groups were the Black Panthers. You don't know about them. I know. Look at what they did. You tell me what group, other than a black group, send their children to die where their adults go get government jobs and university jobs. Tell me what other group of people do that besides black people. I'll give you $1. We don't want to talk about that. Huh? You know what? Isn't the Black Panthers the one that had you go get all this government cheap bioengineered food to get your grandmothers and grandfathers sick? Tell the truth. Don't lie. Isn't that what the Black Panthers did? Didn't the Black Panthers, the third in charge, was a Korean homosexual spy that was in charge of educating your children? Ain't that the Black Panthers? Ain't that what the Black Panthers did? You'll lie and say no. And it's exactly what they did. It's documented. Got you on the food to where you're overly sick now, all that bioengineered stuff. All you got to do is read it. All you got to do is read the setup of the organizations. Then, when brothers and sisters, the youngsters that are full of fire, it just sounds good. It, 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 it was a CIA setup from the jump, from day one. And if you just look at the history of it, you'll see that. That's why, you try to help the young lady from what she's saying because so many people is going through what she's going through. Why did mother give her for adoption? Why? And it's not just her case. It's so many cases. You've heard of the story of Henrietta Lacks. You know the story. You know how they were doing sisters on this birth control stuff. They would just take their ovaries out. So that's what I'm saying. She was lucky. If you knew the stories behind what a lot of sisters have went through, you would chew your teeth down to nothing. Henrietta Lacks was just one. Like I said before the crack era, you had the heroin era. Remember, you were in there pushing heroin on your folks. And today you make movies glorifying the people who did that to you, don't you? This is what black people do. This is what black people do. Didn't black people sell heroin under the orders of Master Fard Muhammad? Huh? See, we don't want to talk about it. We'd rather keep the kids dumb so they can keep stepping in the same stuff. Wasn't the guy that you follow, who you call God, Fard Muhammad? How many times was he arrested for smuggling heroin, selling heroin to your folks in the 1920s and 30s when you were coming out of the field, when you were moving on the concrete, when you were moving in these major cities, Chicago, LA, New York, Detroit, Los Angeles? Didn't weren't you used to move the heroin around? And now don't you worship, I mean, lick the throat out of the people who did that to you? This is what black people do. This is what black people do. Fard Muhammad. Look, it'll take you 5 minutes to do a complete study on him to realize that all that shit was a fraud. And 100 years later, which is now, you still believe it. Won't believe nothing about yourself. I'm talking to black people now. This is how you've been trained to be where you are now. Look it up. Pull up on your, those of you on your computer right now, pull up Fard Muhammad and see what he was arrested for repeatedly. Now, some people hear this and run. Motherfucker, you don't know what you talking about. Blah, 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 because they know it's the truth. This is what they're into. And it keeps happening because these people keep being put in places of prominence that you worship, and the cycle continues. So that's my spiel on the term, word, ideology, black. It's not meant for people at all. It's meant to have you in the position that you're in now. And I'm not talking everybody. I'm talking about as a nation of people. So when you say a nation of people, what are nations of people doing? What are the nations of Spain doing now? What are they doing in comparison to the rest of the world? What are the people of Russia? What are they doing now to let the world know that they're Russians? As Russians, we do this. What do uh, Nigerians? What do they do that the world knows? We Nigerians. We do this. We whole lot. We do this. You can't, black people, it ain't even a country that says Blackistan. Don't even know who you are. That's what I'm saying. That's where we lose at. And it's like we don't want to stop losing. We're comfortable. So find out who your folks are. Remember, as your grandmama was carrying your mama, she was carrying you. You have a long range of telepathy at your disposal. Use it. You use it anyway. We'll see you next time. Peace.